Hello everyone, I'm Kelly Acheson at stampabove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. So today I have the alternate idea paper pumpkin blog hop. I didn't think these kits could get any cuter, but they are absolutely adorable. And this one takes the cake. I love summer. It is my favorite season, and we finally have it here in Wisconsin. I feel like summer just started this week, and it's the last week of June. Isn't that crazy? But I'm hoping it'll last well into September and October. Maybe. I have some great alternate projects to share with you today. I have a little treat holder, I have a couple cards, and I did make up this kit so you can see it kind of in real life. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do with these cute little cards. Let's flip this camera around to get started. I'm going to get right to work and show you my alternate ideas. I've got two cards to share with you that are super cute. So first of all, layers. I've got crumb cake cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 11. And I scored it at 5 1/2. I'm looking for my bone folder here. Got that ready to roll. Then I've got a layer of Coastal Cabana, and this is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4, and a white layer that is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And by the way, you can always find the dimensions and still photos for all of my projects on my blog. This is my blog address. At the end of the video, there'll be a link right up here in the top corner where you can click on. Now that's just going to take you to my general blog where you're going to have to scroll until you find what you're looking for. If you want to go directly to this post for this video today on June 27th, 2019, if you're on YouTube, under YouTube is a little button that says see more, and when you click on that see more, it's going to open up the description of the video, and the direct link right to these projects will be there. First thing I decided with this adorable kit was I had to use this High Seas 3D embossing folder because it goes along with the whole beach theme, right? So I took this layer of Coastal Cabana and I put it in my folder, and I love that these new folders have the line on them because that's how I line my layers up, and I know they're going to be straight in here. With this particular folder, it's not all that important that it's perfectly straight, but like with the Scripty folder and some of our others, it is important. I'm going to run this through the Big Shot. I'll be right back. Another thing I wanted to point out to you guys is make sure that you know these new 3D folders are the thick ones, but they're a little thinner than our old dynamic folders. So if you don't have the new 3D embossing plate, it's a blue plate, and just look it up in my online store, 3D embossing plate. You need that for these folders. Until I got mine, I was simply putting a clear plate on top of the folder and 6 sheets of some crummy white cardstock as a shim, and that will get you your results that you need. I do recommend the embossing plate because it just makes life easier. Okay, isn't this just adorable? Look at those waves. I think they're super, super cute. Then I took a piece of Whisper White and I die cut it with our stitched shapes. This is the largest oval in there, and we're going to do a little bit of stamping on that. Now, the kit comes with a Coastal Cabana ink spot, and if I were to travel with this kit, I would definitely be glad that was in there. But since I'm at home at my desk, I've got ink pads here, and I'm going to add crumb cake to the color combo. This little stamp here is really interesting because it's going to make the sand that's going to go across my beach. So I'm just going to stamp this in crumb cake ink, and it perfectly, whoops, let's get my hair out of there. Nobody wants to see that. Perfectly matches up with itself, so it looks like you've just got a uniform one big stamp going there. And look at, I smeared it. I'm going to redo that. That's going to make me crazy. That is not how I roll. There we go. Okay. The next thing I'm going to grab is just one of these adorable die cut trees. And at the end of the video, I will show you all of the different elements that came in this kit because it is packed with so many goodies. And we'll also talk a little bit about what I plan on doing with the cards that are in the kit, what I'm going to do with those cards. Okay, isn't that super cute? Okay, I need a lot of cards that tell people they're amazing because I really think that people need to be boosted, right? We need to help raise people up. So I'm going to take the You Are Amazing and I'm going to stamp that right over here on the side. And now I'm going to start adding my elements. The kit comes with a whole bunch of mini glue dots, and if I were traveling, again, I would be grateful to have them and I would definitely be using them. But since I'm home and I have liquid glue, I'm good to go. Okay, so once I have this done, then I wanted to bring in one of these sparkly starfish. These are so pretty. This is our shimmer paper. Everything is die cut on there for you. The only thing you have to do is maybe pick out a few of the little pieces that didn't come out all the way. And then here are those mini glue dots, and this is how I use them. I'm going to take my mini glue dot and I'm going to stick it right on my layer. And then I use a pokey tool. Your Take Your Pick tool has a pokey end on it, or one of these paper piercers. And then I'm going to bring my little starfish right down in here. Add that. The kit also came with a whole roll of linen thread, and you guys know that linen thread is like one of my favorites. I love it. It's just that extra little embellishment that doesn't cause any bulk in your cards and your envelopes, right? Doesn't cause any bulk, and it just adds that tiny bit of country touch, I think. Because if you've heard my rant about binder twine and growing up with horses, linen thread reminds me of binder twine. There you have it. Okay, I decided to take a little bit of tape and tape my linen thread, if I can get a hold of it here, my linen thread to the back. I'm going to wrap this around 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Just a little bit of tape again. Trim that off, and then I'm going to bring in my bow jig. Now, if you're new to me, you may have never seen this. I'm wrapping it around 3 times. The 2 nails, I want a really small bow, and I'm going to cross over the thread, bring one up, over, and under, and then tie it in a single knot. I do have a whole video just on how to use this bow jig on my YouTube channel, and if you'd like to get your hands on one, you can pop me an email. Here's my email address. I'd be happy to get you in touch with the person who makes them. It is a friend of mine. And please don't leave a comment on YouTube asking me to give you information because I need your email address to forward it to her. So pop your email address to me and I'll be happy to hook you up with Denise. Or you can make your own bow jig. Let's bring that back in here while I'm doing the rest of this. The bow jig is nothing more than a piece of wood with some holes drilled in it. And seriously, that's all that you've got going on here. These 2 holes are 1 inch apart and then 1/2 inch on either side. 2 straight nails, and you've got yourself a bow jig, and you can make bows in a whole bunch of different sizes. But I know sometimes people don't have access to drills and wood and all that kind of stuff. So you can buy one from Denise. I do not get, I don't get any, what do they call that? There's no incentive for you to, there's no incentive for me when you buy it from Denise. It's just one friend helping out another. She helps me because I am always using the bow jig, and I help her and she sells them. Okay, I'm going to take some dimensionals and add these to the back. Isn't this just adorable? I think it is so cute. Now remember, once you run out of the trees and stuff, you've still got a whole stamp set with these kits. Every single kit comes with a stamp set. So that's really cool because you can make other cards too. Now I'm going to take the little sand dollar here and I'm going to stamp it in crumb cake ink, and I'm just going to add that to the inside of my card to give it a tiny bit of decoration. And here comes our stinking adorable little beach card. I can't hardly wait to give this out. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Who am I going to be giving the cards in the kit to? Isn't that sweet? Now remember, you can see a picture of this. If you're watching this on your phone, it's really tiny in the video. If you head over to my blog, you can see full-size pictures. So sometimes videos, especially with Facebook, can be a little blurry. That's a good reason to go to the blog and see all the details. All right, the next one. Here comes my next card. I've got a card base of 4 1/4 by 11 again. This is our Whisper White thick cardstock. It's great for card bases. I've got a piece of the Coastal Cabana with that High Seas 3D folder already embossed on it. This is 3 3/4 by 5, and then an 1/8 inch bigger with the crumb cake. This is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And I'm just going to put these two together here. This is my second alternate idea card. And oh my gosh, I had so many ideas. I just didn't even know which ones to do for the video. I know I can't keep you like for a couple hours, but I'm telling you that I really could with this particular kit because it's just fun and summery and I love it. Okay, next I'm gonna bring in this cool little element. And you get 2 sheets of these die cuts. Some are just the trees like I showed you in the card before, and some are these little elements that have a bottom to them. So I decided to add my little tree right down in here. So I'm just going to glue that down. I'm going to put it right on the edge of my Coastal Cabana. Just like that. Isn't that cute? And then I'm going to bring in a bunch of these little elements. So I've got the sand dollar. We have sand dollars and starfish. Did I call that a sand dollar before? I might have. And then we have 2 pages of die cut labels that you can stamp the greetings on. And we have a whole bunch of these palm fronds. I guess that's what I would call them. A whole bunch of them. The neat thing about this kit is that there's so many things in it that you can make way more cards than what it's intended for. Again, I'm just going to take some of these little glue dots and I'm going to add this vellum coral die cut. These are really cool. Let me see if I can find them here. Here they are. These little things. And you get a ton of them. Look at how many you get. There's a whole stack of them here. There's 4 on each little sheet. So I'm going to take that and add it right here. And then we've got these little dealy whoppers. And I think I'm just going to add, oh, I know what I wanted to do with that. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, a couple little spots here. And I'm going to tuck that, maybe, oh, yep, here comes the tucking. There we go. I'm going to tuck that right down in here. Then I've got a sand dollar here. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to that to hold it in place. Right there. And then I took and cut the edge. This has a little bit of like a wood grain to it. I took and cut this little edge off after I took out the label and I stamped "You Made My Day Special." Here's this little edge that I had. I'm going to trim this off a little bit. And I'm going to add this peeking out maybe right here. I see I got a little glue on there. We'll wipe that off. And then I'm going to put my sign on dimensionals. I'm turning this into a sign instead of just a banner greeting layer. What do you think? Isn't that cute? We've got one more thing that I want to do here. I'm going to put another one of these little palm things on here. We'll see. It may be too much, but I'm thinking it's going to be okay. How about if we have that peeking out right there? Oh, I like it, right? If you've ever been to the beach, like especially down in Florida, you see all these little signs telling you what beach it is, and I just thought that was really super cute. Last thing I want to do here is add a little bit of the linen thread. And I think I'm going to make just a little bit bigger bow here. And I'm just going to make it a double bow this time. Instead of wrapping it 3 times, I only wrapped it twice. And here we go. And again with one of the glue dots, where am I going to put my bow? Right here, right here. Do I want it at the bottom of my sign? Nope, I think it takes away from my sign. I think I'm just going to put it right here. Right above. Right above my sand dollar. Just like that. Oh my gosh, how super cute is that? Okay, we need to do a little bit of decoration inside here. Just gonna stamp a sand dollar in there. Here are my 2 alternate ideas. Super cute, love the elements in here. I love the greetings in the stamp set. We also have the coral and a starfish and some more greetings in here that I'm gonna show you in a second. Now, part of doing this blog hop is that I have to make a 3D item. So I'm going to show you what I came up with there. Now this kit comes with all these little cards, and I'm going to show you the finished cards in just a minute, but it also comes with all these super cute little envelopes. I love them. They're adorable. So I thought, hey, I could make a little treat holder out of those. Okay, so I've got a piece of crumb cake cardstock here. This is 6 3/4 by 8 3/8. We're going to score it on all 4 sides at 2 3/4. So, I'm sorry, 2 3/8. Score at 2 3/8 on all 4 sides. Now this is one of those boxes that's super, super easy to make. I love it when the scoring is uniform and simple, right? You don't have a bunch of different numbers going on. This is what we're going to end up with. Then you're going to take your paper snips, and instead of cutting on the score line, you're going to cut about a 1/2 inch on the outside of it on both of these sides, just like this, okay? We're going to do the same thing on the other end. Cut about a 1/2 inch, and again, there's no exact science to this part, and it's not real important. 1/2 inch outside on the shorter side end. Then we're going to turn it and cut on all of these score lines right up to the center score line. That's right here. Okay, we're going to do that on both sides. So this is the longer side now. I'm cutting right up to that next score line. Okay, this is what we have. We're going to use our bone folder to give us some good edges here. We want our box to be nice and crisp. Okay, here's our little box. Those little tabs that we left on, just gonna go like this and like this, okay? Let's get that glued together. You could use tear and tape. You could use liquid glue. You definitely want to use something more than a tape runner. I don't know if you guys can hear the music playing outside right now. My husband has the garage stereo on. It's kind of funny. Okay, here we go. Now, those cutie patootie little envelopes, what I did with them is I pulled them apart. So you can kind of put your bone folder in here and slide it right down. Just like that. Voila. Don't worry about that. It's not going to hurt a thing. So I've got all my envelopes opened up. And I cut the tab off of them. So that little tab that's connected there, I cut that off. You only need 2 envelopes. So I've got 2 envelopes here, cut the tabs off. We're gonna take those tabs and we're gonna glue them back on this side of 2 envelopes. Just let me make sure I get them up to the edge there. There we go. Here's our second envelope and our second tab. There we go. This little box is just like a sleeve that's inside. So now all I'm gonna do is glue this. Oh, glue those tabs to the inside. You don't want those popping out. But I'm just going to add this to the front of my box. Make sure you get it centered good. Mine's kind of sticking over the end down here. I don't like that. You know, I'm kind of weird about stuff like that. I want it to be nice. Let's try it again. Here we go. There we go. That's a little better centered. Push it down, get that glue to stick. There we are. Okay, so here's the front of our box. And if you wanted to, you could just decorate the front. But I'm going to do both, the front and the back, and make it complete. So push it down here so it pops all the way up there where it needs to be at the top here. Oh my gosh, is that not just adorable? So hang tight. Then what I did is I took one of our 3x6 cello bags. These are gusseted cello bags, okay? I added some shred, and when I'm out shopping, I'm always looking for stuff that might match Stampin' Up! Colors, and I think this worked out pretty good. So I added it to the cello bag with a couple of, is it Ferrero Rocher candies? I don't know how to say that, but they're delicious and they look beautiful. This is going to go in my little box. I put some of our braided trim tied on here to keep it all together. And then I can send it, or not send it, I can give it as a gift, hand deliver with this card. You made my day special. Here's a couple little candies. Or you can send it with this card. You are amazing. Here's a couple little candies. Isn't that sweet? Okay, you guys, paper pumpkin is one of the funnest things that I get in the mail every month. It can't even compare to bills and junk mail. Like, hands down, my favorite thing. This paper pumpkin kit came with, let me find my cards, this cute little adorable pouch. And these cards are miniature size, and you can see here you can make whatever you want with it. And I do provide all of my subscribers at least 15 alternate ideas using that month's paper pumpkin kit. So it's pretty cool. Here are the sweet little cards that came with the kit. I put one of each together. Slips right inside here. Absolutely adorable. There's number 1. Here's number 2. Isn't that just the cutest? And all these little elements in here just make it so sweet. Here's the 3rd one. And here's the 4th one. Now these are the perfect size to put on a package if you're giving a gift to somebody. What am I planning on doing with mine? I'm going to take mine and I'm going to keep them all in this little packet. And when I am out in public and somebody does something nice, or I see maybe a mom is getting ready to go into the store and her child is giving her a really rough time and she's like trying to keep it together, I can put one of these cards on her windshield and just tell her to have a good day. Don't you think that's going to brighten her spirits? That checkout clerk that goes the extra mile because you couldn't find the size that you wanted, so they run in the back and look, and sure enough, they have the size that you need back there, and, you know, she would have just said, no, we don't have any more. But instead, he or she went that extra mile. Give them a card, brighten their day. That's what I'm planning, and I'm going to stick this right in my purse. I can make more of these with the stamp set and all the gazillion little elements that are left over. telling you, they put so much more in these kits than just what you make with them. I'm going to make more of these and keep them in my purse so I can hand them out to people and make their day a little better. I already feel good about that. All right, you guys, if you would like to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, you're going to find all the information for the subscription on my blog. The best way to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber is on a monthly basis, where you go to mypaperpumpkin.com, you subscribe, choose me, Kelly Acheson, as your demonstrator if you don't have one, and Paper Pumpkin will be delivered to you every month. It's just like a magazine subscription. I believe that cost is $22. If you would like to prepay for subscriptions, you can buy a 1-month subscription, 3-month, 6-month, 12-month subscription. You can do that on my blog, and I will have the links on my blog where you just click on it. It'll take you right to my store, and you order a prepaid subscription. You can head right over here right now to go to my blog. You don't want to miss the blog hop because there's usually 15 to 20 demonstrators involved in this hop. So you're going to get 15 to 20 more alternate card ideas and 3D ideas when you join this blog hop. And of course, don't forget to click down here to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You don't want to miss anything I have coming out. Tomorrow, check back on my blog. I'm going to be doing the Totally Techniques blog hop, and we are featuring no line watercoloring. Never done it, haven't started yet, but as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to get going on that so I can share something really cool with you. Okay, have yourselves a wonderful Thursday. Join the blog hop up here. Subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Go to my blog and look for the online ordering button to place an order. I always appreciate your orders. Thank you guys so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend it with me. Bye-bye.